A single look between Bertha and Mrs. Astor, a quiet nod from George Russell, and Marian's tear-filled eyes behind a ballroom mask. These aren't just beautiful moments, they're loaded with secrets, power plays, and heartbreak. The trailer for The Gilded Age Season 3, Episode 6 isn't just a preview, it's a promise. A promise that the battle for New York's highest society is about to explode. The trailer opens with a grand sweeping shot of New York City, bathed in soft, golden sunlight. Horse-drawn carriages rush down the cobblestone streets. It's a beautiful image, but the tone changes fast. A sharp cut takes us to Bertha Russell, standing at the top of a staircase, eyes locked on an unnamed guest arriving below. Her expression, calm on the outside, but clearly calculating. It's clear Bertha has a new game plan, and the stakes have never been higher. We then see Marian Brook sitting in a quiet parlor holding a letter. Her hands are trembling slightly. The camera lingers on her face. She looks torn, vulnerable, and uncertain. This moment hints that Marian may have to make a difficult choice in this episode, one that could change her future forever. A soft piano score plays in the background, setting the tone for what looks to be a deeply emotional arc for her. Next, we shift to George Russell in a heated conversation with a group of stern-looking men in dark suits. He slams a document down onto a desk, and for a split second, we hear him say, "This is how we lose everything." It's clear George is under serious pressure, likely from labor unrest or a business rival. His usual cool confidence is starting to crack, and the trailer makes it clear George is entering dangerous waters. Quick flashes follow. Agnes Van Ryn sipping tea with a look of disapproval. Ada Brooks smiling nervously at a mysterious new character. Larry Russell dancing with a woman we haven't seen before. These moments are brief but telling. They hint at shifting relationships, new connections, and maybe even secret alliances. Then comes a striking scene. The camera cuts to an opera house filled with people dressed in black and gold, the lighting low and dramatic. Bertha Russell appears, wearing a gown that outshines everyone around her. As the applause begins, she doesn't clap, she just smiles. The trailer is clearly telling us this moment belongs to her. Whether it's a gala, a political event, or a power move, Bertha is once again making sure she's the center of everything. The last part of the trailer hits hard. Marian is shown running through the rain, her dress soaked, clutching something in her hand. We don't know where she's going, but her face says everything: fear, desperation, and maybe even defiance. Her storyline is usually quiet and restrained, but here, she's active. She's choosing, running, and perhaps finally breaking free from the expectations others have placed on her. In the final moments, we hear a voice, possibly Bertha's, say, "Let them judge. I've already won." That single line wraps up the entire tone of the trailer. Proud, cold, and fearless. It's about power, reputation, and the cost of ambition in a world that doesn't forgive mistakes. The screen fades to black. The music slows. The logo appears. The Gilded Age Season 3, Episode 6. Then, in silence, just one date, the air date. This trailer may only be a few minutes long, but it's packed with energy. Every scene, every look, every line is carefully chosen to hint at what's coming next. There's no filler. It's all build-up, and based on what we've seen, Episode 6 is going to be a turning point. Not just for one character, but for nearly every major storyline. Let's take a closer look at the characters shown in the trailer, because each one is carrying a different weight into Episode 6. And this episode feels like a moment of reckoning for pride, for love, and for legacy. We'll start with Bertha Russell, because no one steals a trailer quite like her. From the first scene she appears in, you can feel that Bertha is plotting something, and it's more than just another grand social event. In one scene, she stands alone in the center of her ballroom, staring at an empty chair. The camera lingers on her just long enough to let us wonder, who's not showing up? Or more importantly, who has Bertha decided to exclude this time? This is a woman who has built her status brick by brick, and she's not going to let anyone shake her throne. There's a moment in the opera house where Bertha walks past Mrs. Astor without acknowledging her. That single gesture says everything. The Cold War between these two women is about to heat up again. Bertha isn't just seeking acceptance anymore. She wants domination, and she's prepared to play dirty to get it. Asterisk, then there's Marian Brook, who seems more emotionally exposed in this trailer than we've ever seen her. In earlier seasons, Marian was cautious, always polite, always quiet. But now, she's making moves whether she's chasing after love or escaping from family expectations. Something has shifted inside her. We see her staring at a ring in one shot, then later reading a letter and crying softly. That ring could symbolize a proposal or an ending. And the tears, they don't feel weak. They feel like the pain of someone who's finally making her own choices, no matter the cost. The most powerful image comes when she runs through the rain, gripping something tightly. Marian, who once moved carefully through life, is now in motion, emotionally and physically. And it looks like we're about to see her take control in a way she never has before. Asterisk, now let's talk about George Russell. If Bertha rules society, George controls business, or at least he used to. In this trailer, George appears worried, almost desperate in a few key scenes. He's in meetings with angry board members, staring at newspapers with headlines we can't quite read, and confronting what looks like a group of striking workers. There's one moment that really stands out. George looking down from his office window, watching people gather outside. His face is calm, but his eyes betray the truth. He knows that power built on money can be shaken by unrest. And maybe, for the first time, he doesn't have a clear solution. His arc seems headed for a major test. Will he protect his empire at all costs, or will he have to sacrifice something or someone to hold on to it? Asterisk, Agnes Van Ryn returns as sharp and judgmental as ever, but this time, there's a trace of something new, fear. In the trailer, she's seen quietly listening to Marian and Ada in a dimly lit room. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't roll her eyes. She just listens. That might seem small, but for Agnes, it's huge. She's losing her grip on the world she once controlled, and she knows it. There's a scene where she holds a photograph, one we can't see, and sighs deeply. Agnes may be preparing to face something painful, perhaps a loss from the past, or an uncomfortable truth in the present. Her role in episode 6 could shift from critic to witness as the world she once shaped begins to reshape her. Asterisk, then there's Ada Brooke, often the quiet soul of the show. But even she seems to have a small spotlight in this trailer. We see her smiling nervously at a man in a garden, blushing as they exchange glances. It's a sweet moment, one that suggests Ada might finally be letting herself feel something more than duty or kindness. Maybe, for once, she's thinking about herself. And in a world full of strategy and social warfare, Ada's quiet hopes might be the most vulnerable and the most real storyline in the episode. Asterisk, lastly, we get a glimpse of Larry Russell, George and Bertha's son. He's seen dancing with a mysterious woman we haven't seen before, young, well-dressed, and clearly confident. The look on Larry's face is not love-struck, but curious, maybe even wary. Could this be the start of a new romance, or another strategic relationship arranged by his mother? Larry's always been a character torn between duty and desire. The trailer suggests he's about to be tested again, not just in love, but in how much influence his parents will continue to have over his life. Asterisk, every character in the trailer is shown at a crossroads. And that's what makes this episode feel so rich with potential. Nobody is coasting. Everyone is confronting something, be it ambition, loss, love, or truth. The trailer doesn't just tease drama, it promises transformation. And in a show like The Gilded Age, transformation always comes with a price. Sometimes the most powerful clues in a trailer aren't in the dialogue. They're in the background, the costumes, or the silence between words. The Gilded Age has always been a show that speaks through visual storytelling, and in this trailer, for Season 3, Episode 6, the creative team has filled the frame with hints about what's really going on beneath the surface. Let's begin with costumes, because in this world, fashion is a weapon. One of the most striking images in the trailer is Bertha Russell at the Opera House, wearing a shimmering gold gown with sharp, structured shoulders and a dramatic neckline. Gold isn't just about luxury here, it's about dominance. It tells us that Bertha sees herself as the true queen of society now, not a guest in someone else's world. But look closer. The gown has a metallic sheen that almost resembles armor. This isn't just style, it's strategy. Bertha is dressing for battle, and the Opera House? That's not just entertainment anymore, it's her battlefield. Meanwhile, Marian Brook is seen in muted tones, dusty rose cream, and pale gray. These soft colors often symbolize internal conflict, modesty, or grief. In one scene, she wears a high-collared dress with delicate lace trim as she reads a letter, her face filled with uncertainty. The delicate styling could reflect how fragile she feels, or how tightly she is being held in place by society's expectations. But there's one brief shot of her in deep forest green, bold, rich, and unlike her usual wardrobe, it flashes past quickly. But that color choice could mean something big: growth, independence, and possibly a moment of rebellion. Now let's talk about locations, because in the show, the setting often mirrors the emotional tone. The trailer features a new location we haven't seen much of before: a dark, wood-paneled room filled with smoke and old oil paintings. George Russell is there, surrounded by other men. This doesn't look like a home or a boardroom. It looks like a private club, maybe even a political backroom. The lighting is harsh, shadows everywhere, and no women are present. That scene sends a clear message. The decisions being made in that room are dangerous, exclusive, and probably not entirely legal. George might be stepping into a side of business he once avoided. There's also a quick shot of Agnes Van Ryn walking through a quiet garden in the early morning. The air looks cold, and the flowers are wilted. It's a subtle symbol. Agnes is a woman from a different era, and her values may be fading just like that garden. Nature is often used in this series to reflect change, and here, it could mean the slow but steady erosion of Agnes's grip on the world around her. One of the most emotionally charged symbols comes in the form of a single umbrella. Marian is seen standing in the rain, but she's not using it. She holds it tightly in her hand, but it stays closed. It's an odd, almost poetic image. Umbrellas, of course, are meant to protect us, but Marian isn't seeking protection in this moment. She's choosing to get wet. She's choosing the storm. That quiet decision, made without any dialogue, speaks volumes about how much her character has changed. And then there's the recurring image of mirrors and reflections. We see several characters looking into mirrors throughout the trailer. Bertha applying lipstick, Larry straightening his jacket, Marian brushing her hair. These aren't vanity shots. They're moments of self-reflection, literal and emotional. The mirror forces the character and the audience to ask, who are they trying to be? What mask are they putting on? In Bertha's case, her look. Into the mirror is brief and confident. She knows exactly who she is. But Marian's is long, filled with hesitation, and Larry's is quiet, almost sad. These visual choices hint that identity is a major theme in this episode, not just how the world sees these characters, but how they see themselves. One more hidden detail worth mentioning is the use of sound or silence in the trailer. There's a particular moment where all music fades, and we're left with the quiet rustle of a dress and the echo of footsteps. It's a scene where Bertha walks alone through an empty hallway. That silence speaks louder than any dialogue. It's lonely, it's powerful. It reminds us that even at the top, Bertha is still isolated, maybe even haunted by what she's had to give up to get where she is. Asterisk finally, there's a blink-and-do miss-it shot of a letter being burned in a fireplace. We don't know who wrote it or who destroyed it, but we see just enough to catch the wax seal before it vanishes in flames. Burning a letter in this world isn't just about privacy, it's about erasing a truth. And the fact that this moment is hidden so deep in the trailer tells us it's something important, something someone doesn't want us to know. Asterisk in short, this trailer is not just a preview of events, it's a carefully constructed puzzle. Every color, every object, every silence is doing something. And that's what makes the Gilded Age so brilliant. It never tells you everything directly. It shows you, and then it lets you feel the rest. Episode 6 isn't just setting up drama, it's setting up deeper emotional shifts, buried secrets, and choices that will ripple through every storyline. Asterisk now that we've picked apart the trailer frame by frame, it's time to connect the dots. What's actually going to happen in episode 6? The trailer gives us powerful images and just enough dialogue to spark theories, and some of them could shift the entire balance of the season. Asterisk, let's begin with Bertha Russell, who is clearly preparing for another strategic strike in New York's social war. Based on her commanding presence at the Opera House and the cold dismissal of Mrs. Astor, we predict Bertha is about to take over some major cultural institution, perhaps by funding a new performance series, buying out a board seat, or pulling strings behind the scenes to remove a rival patron. Her line, let them judge. I've already won. Doesn't sound like a woman waiting for approval. It sounds like she's already made her move. Some fans believe this might be tied to a controversial guest list, possibly a decision to include a member of New Money or someone from outside accepted social circles, which would cause a scandal but also force society to evolve. If true, this episode might show Bertha making the boldest decision of her social career yet. Asterisk George Russell, on the other hand, looks like he's headed for conflict, not just with external business forces, but possibly with Bertha herself. Their marriage has always been strong, but we've also seen them clash when their ambitions don't align. If George is indeed facing labor unrest or corporate betrayal, and Bertha is pouring money into public prestige projects, we could be seeing the first cracks in their partnership. Some theories suggest George might consider cutting corners or making a deal with unsavory political figures, the kind of move that would shake Bertha's trust. The shot of George in that dark, wood-paneled room, surrounded by powerful men, may be more than business. It could be a sign he's stepping into a corrupt world to survive, and once he's in, it may be hard to get out. Asterisk Marian Brook's emotional scene suggests she is about to make a major life decision. The ring she's shown holding, or looking at, likely symbolizes either a proposal or a farewell. A popular fan theory is that she's caught between two men, one from a respectable background and one from outside society's approval. Her family, especially Agnes, may pressure her to follow one path, but the trailer suggests Marian is finally ready to go her own way. That scene of her running through the rain, clutching something tightly, may be her racing to stop a wedding, or perhaps to start a new life of her own choosing. Some viewers believe she may even elope or leave New York entirely. If that happens, it would be the biggest turning point for her character since the series began. Asterisk, one of the most interesting theories revolves around Agnes Van Ryn. Her quiet, reflective scenes hint at vulnerability, possibly due to bad news, or a family revelation. One possibility, a scandal from her past is about to resurface, perhaps a lost love, a secret child, or a financial mistake. The photograph she's seen holding in the trailer may be connected to someone she once loved, or betrayed. If so, this episode could challenge everything Agnes believes in and force her to reckon with the costs of her cold, judgmental ways. There's also speculation that she might finally see Marian as her equal or even apologize, which would be a huge emotional shift for her. Asterisk, and what about Ada Brooke? Her shy smile in the garden hints at romance, something Ada has always quietly longed for but never fully allowed herself. This new man, briefly shown in the trailer, may be someone from her past or a friend of the Russells. A soft-spoken storyline like this could offer a refreshing contrast to the high drama elsewhere, but don't count it out as minor. If Ada finds love, it might inspire Marian to take a leap of her own or spark conflict if Agnes disapproves. There's also a theory that Ada's love interest may be hiding something, a false title, a debt, or a family secret. That could turn her sweet storyline into something much more complex. Then there's Larry Russell. The mystery woman he's dancing with has become a hot topic in fan circles. Is she a new love interest or part of a larger plan orchestrated by Bertha? Given the Russell family's obsession with status, it wouldn't be surprising if Bertha arranged a meeting, but Larry looks unsure, even conflicted. There's a growing theory that Larry is tired of being a pawn, and this episode may show him making his own bold move, whether that means rejecting Bertha's influence or pursuing someone completely unexpected. And finally, what about that burning letter? Theories here range from romantic to political. Some say it's a love letter, perhaps from Marian's forbidden suitor, which she destroys to protect his reputation. Others believe it's a business document tied to George Russell's crisis. But the most dramatic theory, the letter contains information that could destroy someone's social standing, perhaps even Bertha's. If true, that scene could be the turning point of the entire episode, with someone choosing silence over exposure, a sacrifice, a cover-up, or a final goodbye. In summary, episode 6 isn't just setting up drama, it's about choices. Every character is standing at a fork in the road. Love or power, truth or reputation, silence or confrontation. The trailer gives us clues, but the real story will be in how these choices collide. And if this season has taught us anything, it's that in the Gilded Age, every action, no matter how quiet, has consequences that ripple through everyone's lives.